غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ تیرے صدقے میں آقا سار جہاں کو دین ملا بے دینوں نے کلمہ پڑھا لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ سمت نبی بو جہل گیا آقا سے اس نے یہ کہا گھر وہ نبی بتلاؤ ذرا میری مٹھی میں ہے کیا سمت نبی بو جہل گیا آقا سے اس نے یہ کہا گھر وہ نبی بتلاؤ ذرا میری مٹھی میں ہے کیا آقا کا فرمان ہوا اور فضل رحمان ہوا مٹھی سے کنکر بولا لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ اپنی بہن سے بولے عمر یہ تو بتا کیا کرتی تھی میرے آنے سے پہلے کیا چپ کے پڑھتی تھی اپنی بہن سے بولے عمر یہ تو بتا کیا کرتی تھی میرے آنے سے پہلے کیا چپ کے پڑھتی تھی بہن نے جب قرآن پڑھا سن کے کلام پاک خدا دل عمر کا بول اٹھا لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ وہ جو بلال حبشی ہے سروردی کا پیارا ہے دنیا کے ہر عاشق کی آنکھوں کا وہ تارا ہے وہ جو بلال حبشی ہے سروردی کا پیارا ہے دنیا کے ہر عاشق کی آنکھوں کا وہ تارا ہے ظلم ہوئے کتنے ان پر سینے پہ رکھا پتھر پھر بھی زباں پہ جاری تھا لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ. Everyone together, no child should remain silent please. Everyone together, everyone loud. Let's get the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam beaming against the walls of our beloved HLC. حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله. تیرے صدقے میں آقا سارے جہاں کو دین ملا بے دینوں نے کلمہ پڑھا لا الہ الا اللہ حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ. Just before we wait for our beloved Hazrat, there's a lot of kids here. Love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, kids, is the most important thing in your life. La ilaha illallah is not enough without Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, love of Allah cannot be achieved if you do not have love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي. The Hazrat was giving a bayan a couple of days ago, and we learned the translation through Hazrat's beloved speech, that, you know, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ, if you love Allah, then follow me. Love me, follow me. So the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the praise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to learn about his lifestyle, to learn everything about him is the best of actions. Mustafa, 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 Mustafa. سید الاولین سید الاخرین وہ ہے میرا نبی وہ ہے میرا نبی تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں مصطفیٰ 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 وہ ہے شمس الضحیٰ وہ ہے بدر الدجا وہ ہے میرا نبی وہ ہے میرا نبی تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں تجھ سا کوئی نہیں مصطفیٰ 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 Mustafa, Mustafa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. Yeah, you are young boys. You are not reading properly. Even Hashim Chacha was three louder than you, Mustafa, Mustafa. Come Hashim Chacha. माशाअल्लाह. क्यों चुपचाप क्यों बैठे रहे? जोर से बोलना चाहिए. चलो अबे बातें करता है. मेरा टाइम है बात करने का, तेरा टाइम सुनने का है. चुप. What's his name? इधर से बैठ, आराम से बैठ. बात नहीं करने की, शोर नहीं बजाने का. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम, अम्मा बाद. Today we're going to talk about fidya and kaffara. But before that, yesterday one Muslim was asked about Bitcoin, and my brother Maulana Rashid sent me this fatwa of Mufti Faraz Adam. What is the zakat treatment of crypto assets? Answer: depends on two things: the type of crypto asset and the investment trading strategy in crypto asset. To read more on our explanation of crypto assets, you can read the article here. Summary is: active trading strategy. Zakat is due on the full value of the investment at market value. Active trading here means an investment with the sole intention to sell and capture short-term positive price fluctuations. Buy and hold trading strategy. Any crypto asset purchased with another intention. Zakat will depend on the type of crypto asset. And then there are various types of crypto assets mentioned: coins, exchange tokens, payment tokens, security tokens, utility and platform tokens, asset-backed tokens, governance tokens. Most cases, zakat is said to be necessary. That's what Mufti Faraz said. But it still needs more investigating. Why? Because I checked this in English. I googled here about zakat on Bitcoin, and this is what came up, and nothing much. Then I googled in Urdu, and Darul Deoband's fatwa came, but it also doesn't mention anything about zakat. It only mentions that cryptocurrency is not currency, because currency is something which is regulated by the government, and it's not regulated by government, it's regulated by individuals, and we don't even know who those individuals are. And it's something to do with gambling and interest, because you're gambling your money in there. It fluctuates up and down. People say, well, one Bitcoin was worth $10 so many years ago, but now it's worth $750. But where is that $750? There's nothing there. It's not tangible. You can't hold it in your hands. So Darul Deoband's fatwa is that this cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is no currency. We don't regard it as currency. And it also says that it's not allowed to trade in there, and it's not allowed to promote it either. देवबंद के फतवे में बिल्कुल साफ लिखा है ये कि इसकी तिजारत भी मना है, इसको प्रमोट करना भी मना है. No halal, don't deal with it, because it's not proper currency, and as long as it's not regulated by the government, we will not regard it as proper currency. ये मैं आपको पढ़ के सुनाता हूँ. देखो क्या लिखा है. आजकल दुनिया में जो मुख्तलिफ करेंसियां राइज हैं वो फी नफ्सी माल नहीं, वो कागज का टुकड़ा है. उनमें जो मालियत और उर्फी समनियत पाई जाती है वो दो वजह से है. एक तो इस वजह से कि उनके पीछे मुल्क की इक्तिसादी चीजें होती हैं. 2 reasons. One, क्या कहते हैं इक्तिसादी चीजें, अपना इक्तिसाद क्या, वो लफ्ज ध्यान में नहीं आ रहा. Our iqtisad and our
countries' maishat and economy is behind it and based on these currencies and these notes like pound and dollar. اس لیے ملک کی اقتصادی ترقی اور انحطاط کا کرنسی کی ویلیو پر اثر پڑتا ہے. دس از وائی دا انفلیشن ایکسیٹرا افیکٹس دا ویلیو آف دیٹ کرنسی. یعنی اقتصاد ہی کی وجہ سے ملک کی کرنسی کی ویلیو گھٹتی بڑھتی ہے. دوسری وجہ یہ ہے کہ ہر ملک عوام کے لیے اپنی کرنسی کا ضامن ذمہ دار ہوتا ہے. ایوری کنٹری از ریسپانسبل فار دا جنرل پبلک فار دیئر کرنسی. یہی وجہ ہے کہ جب کوئی ملک اپنی کوئی کرنسی بند کرتا ہے تو کرنسی محض کاغذ کا نوٹ بن کر رہ جاتی ہے. when a government cancels out a currency, that currency remains only paper, اور اس کی کوئی ویلیو حیثیت باقی نہیں رہتی. اب سوال یہ کہ ڈیجیٹل کرنسی کے پیچھے کیا چیز ہے جس کی وجہ سے اس کی ویلیو متعین ہوتی ہے. اس کی ترقی اور انحطاط سے کرنسی کی ویلیو گھٹتی بڑھتی ہے. اسی طرح اس کرنسی کا ضامن ذمہ دار کون ہے؟ who is behind cryptocurrency and who is responsible. نیز کرنسی کی پشت پر جو چیز پائی جاتی ہے کیا واقعی طور پر اس کرنسی کے ضامن کا کنٹرول ہوتا ہے یا محض فرضی اور اعتباری چیز ہے؟ The one who is behind the cryptocurrency, does the person have control over the currency, or is it just farzi and اعتباری? Is it just imaginary and people just regard it as currency? ڈیجیٹل کرنسی کے متعلق مختلف تحریرات پڑھی گئیں. We have read a lot about it, اور اس کے متعلق غور کیا گیا تو معلوم ہوا کہ ڈیجیٹل کرنسی محض ایک فرضی چیز ہے. It's only something which is made up, اور اس کا عنوان ہاتھی کے دانت کی طرح محض دکھانے کی چیز ہے. It's like ہاتھی دانت. حقیقت میں یہ فوریکس ٹریڈنگ وغیرہ کی طرح نیٹ پر جاری ستے بازی اور سودی کاروبار کی شکل ہے. اس میں حقیقت میں کوئی مبیع وغیرہ نہیں پائی جاتی اور نہ ہی اس کے کاروبار میں بیع کے جواز کی شرطیں شرعی شرطیں پائی جاتی ہیں. And for buying and selling it, the شرعی شرائط and conditions do not prevail in there. پس خلاصہ یہ ہے کہ بٹ کوائن یا کوئی اور ڈیجیٹل کرنسی محض فرضی اور میڈ اپ کرنسی ہے، حقیقی اور واقعی کرنسی نہیں، ریالٹی نہیں اس کے پیچھے. نیز کسی بھی ڈیجیٹل کرنسی میں واقعی کرنسی کی بنیادی صفات نہیں پائی جاتی. And the real currency's صفات attributes do not prevail in the digital currency. نیز ڈیجیٹل کرنسی کے کاروبار میں سٹہ بازی اور سودی کاروبار کا پہلو معلوم ہوتا ہے. اس لیے یہ سننا ہے بٹ کوائن یا کسی اور ڈیجیٹل کرنسی کی خریداری کرنا جائز نہیں. You can't buy bitcoins. اسی طرح بٹ کوائن یا کسی بھی ڈیجیٹل کرنسی کی تجارت بھی فوریکس ٹریڈنگ کی طرح جائز نہیں. اس لیے اس کاروبار سے پرہیز کیا جائے. دیکھ لیا نا آپ نے، بس آگے لکھ دیا ہے، دلائل لکھ دیے ہیں، وحل اللہ البیع وحرم الربا، اور اس طرح حرم الخمر والمیسر، اور اس میں بھی میسر ہے اور قمار ہے، اس لیے منع ہے. آگے اور بھی دو تین اس طرح کے فتوے ہیں، یہ میں نے ایک فتویٰ اس میں سے پڑھا. خیر this was about، لیکن اس میں بھی زکات کا کچھ نہیں لکھا. And I read the other fatwas as well on Darul Deoband, but it doesn't mention anything about zakat. So we'll have to dig in more in there. Mufti Faraz Adam is saying that if you buy it with the intention of selling it and making money on it, then you have to give zakat on it. But if you buy it with the intention of keeping it, then there's many scenarios. But even in then, he says in most scenarios you have to give it. Because end of the day, you're going to sell it anyway, you're not going to keep it. It's not like some clothes or cars which you're going to keep and use for yourself. You're going to sell it anyway end of the day. So that's why he is of the opinion that you have to give zakat on them. Anyway, this is about cryptocurrency. Today we want to talk about fidya and kaffara. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. صدق اللہ العظیم. If you witness this month, you must fast. And if a person is sick or he is on a journey, then he should make up for it in other days. And those who barely manage to keep it can give fidya, feeding of one miskin. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Now, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ, there's two tafseers of it. Number one, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ لَا يُطِيقُونَهُ, la is mahzoof. لا يبين الله لكم أن تضلوا أي أن لا تضلوا. So those who are unable to keep it, they can give fidya. And second tafsir is وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ, who can barely just about manage to keep the roza, then they can make it easy for themselves by giving fidya. Now this tafsir is according to the earlier times when this ayat was revealed. And in the beginning when roza was given, this flexibility was given. But then that flexibility was cancelled and now everybody has to keep it, even if you can barely manage to. Now, who is able to give fidya? Where one is not able to fast due to a genuine reason which Shariat regards as a reason. And the reason is someone who is permanently ill, or someone who is so old that they are unable to fast, or someone who has a medical condition and two reliable doctors say that if you fast, your health will suffer, you could die, or your health could deteriorate. So in that case, he would be allowed to give fidya. Now, how much is the fidya? Okay. Number one, how much is fidya and who is eligible to take that fidya? How much is fidya? Quran said ta'amu miskin, feeding one miskin, right? So if you can feed one miskin twice a day, then that is your fidya. Now once one of our Haji Sahib, was unable to keep roza, he gave fidya money. And he asked me, Maulana Sahib, he will keep roza for me, right? I said, no, he will keep his own Ramzan roza. He's not going to keep your roza. You're only giving him fidya, feeding him, because he's poor. So he's not going to keep your roza. Don't think that. That's wrong thinking. You're only giving fidya because you can't keep roza, so you're giving fidya money for it. Feeding. Now, Quran said, Ta'amu miskin. Fuqaha take from there that if a person was to give one sa' of khajur or half sa' of wheat to one miskin, that would suffice. And that is equal to the sadaqah fitr we give on Eid al-Fitr day. How much is sadaqah al-Fitr this year? Kitna hai Saeed bhai sadaqah al-Fitr?
3 pounds.
That's why I didn't mind as well, 3 pounds. So 3 pounds. Right? I was searching some websites like Muslim Hands and others. Some were saying 7 pounds. Others were saying 5 pounds. Right? On some websites it said 7 pounds per roza. Other websites said 5 pounds per roza. So that's the amount of fidya. So 30 rozas, if it's 7 pounds, then 210 pounds for the whole Ramzan. 5 pounds, then 150. If it's 3 pounds, then 90 pounds. Right? Average. So you can give depending on your ability and istitaat. Ji. हाँ.
फिदिया जब मस्जिद वाले मांगते हैं, मस्जिद में वो कहते हैं हम स्टूडेंट्स को देंगे, मगर वो स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो तो मस्कीन नहीं होते हैं, वो तालीम लेने आते हैं, तो क्या उनके ऊपर वो फिदिया जायज है?
नहीं, मिस्कीन होना जरूरी है. फिदिये का मसरफ वही है जो ज़कात का मसरफ है. जिसको ज़कात दे सकते हैं उसको फिदिया दे सकते हैं. मस्जिद वाले मांगते हैं, उनसे पूछो, मस्जिद वालों से कहो. मस्जिद वाले शायद ये करते हों कि वो फिदिया का पैसा ले करके वो आगे पास ऑन करते होंगे. सो मस्जिद वाला इज द वकील. जैसे ज़कात में इफ मदरसा मोहतमिम टेक्स ज़कात, ही इज बिकमिंग द वकील. क्या कहते हैं वकील को? डेप्यूटी. नहीं, वो वकील नहीं हो, कोर्ट वाला वकील नहीं. वकील मीन्स हु इज डेप्यूटी ऑफ समवन, हु इज एक्टिंग फॉर समवन. Naim. So he is acting as a wakil and deputy of the other person. Now there is mas'ala in zakat. Is the muhtamim sahab who takes the masjid wakil of the one who is giving or wakil of the poor person? Based on that, there is difference of opinion. Some say he is wakil of the poor person, right? So as soon as you give that wakil, your zakat is done. And others say he is wakil of the giver. So the zakat will not be given done until he passes it on. So there's masla is very delicate there as well. So masla is that you should give yourself to a poor person, right? Maybe you can send it back home. भेज दिया वहां इंडिया पाकिस्तान, तो वहां पर किसी को वकील बना दिया कि तुम जो है मिस्किन को खिला देना, तो उससे तुम्हारा फिदिया जो है अदा हो जाएगा.
इधर से हम भेजेंगे फिदिया इंडिया पाकिस्तान, इक्विवेलेंट हियर देंगे या पाकिस्तान का देंगे?
जिधर आप रहते हैं उधर का हिसाब होगा.
यहाँ पर इंडिया पाकिस्तान में 5000 रुपीस है.
हाँ,
तो हम 3 पाउंड into 30 days करेंगे या 5000?
नहीं, यहाँ के जहां आप रहते हैं वहां के हिसाब से. तो वहां पर तो हो सकता है कि आपका बहुत सस्ता हो जाए, लेकिन यहाँ के हिसाब से महंगा होगा, तो आपको यहाँ के हिसाब से देना पड़ेगा. जहां आप रहते हैं वहां का हिसाब होगा. जहां दे रहे हैं वहां का हिसाब नहीं, जहां रहते हैं वहां का हिसाब होगा. तो दिस इज अबाउट फिदिया. ठीक है. Sometimes some elderly people or some diabetic people give fidya. One of our friends is 81 years old. He's all right, health is okay, but he said, I won't be able to keep roza this year. And doctors have said I have to take this medicine, that medicine. And because of that, I'm unable to. So he gave us fidya. I sent it home, India, to my Mamuzad Bhai, and he will distribute it among the poor and needy who are eligible for zakat. So he gave it according to here, over 100 pounds. So Maulana साहब कोई नहीं, 90 pound है, 100 pound भेज दो. भेज दिया हमने, वहाँ तकसीम कर दिया. अब उनका वो फिदिया हो गया उनका. So this is mas'ala of number 1, fidya. अच्छी तरह clear हो गया? Any questions on fidya? You understand what fidya is? Suleiman, if you can't keep roza, then you have to give 3 pound per roza to a miskin. If you are able to keep your roza afterwards, meaning you regained your health afterwards, then you have to keep qaza. So in Ramzan you were sick, but in December you got better, then you have to keep roza. Or maybe in Ramzan you have to break your fast because of, let's say, some reason, medical reason, roza is too long. Then in winter, when roza is short, you can make qaza. If you gave fidya already, then that fidya will be classed as sadaqah. You will get sawab of nafli, sadaqah, and you make up your roza again. That's the mas'ala. And then second mas'ala is about kaffara. Kaffara is when a fast is intentionally broken. You have to give kaffara. Intentionally broken by eating or drinking something that humans would normally consume. And this consumption nourishes, medicates, or pleases the body in some way. 1. Number 2, kaffara is necessary when the fast is deliberately broken through actual intercourse in the front or rear private part, regardless of ejaculation or not. And number 3, kaffara needs to be given upon kissing the spouse and swallowing the saliva of one's partner. So it is impermissible and grave crime to engage in sexual intercourse of any type. The sacred law unconditionally prohibits this type of activity, whether during or not during the month of Ramadan. This is connected to the rear part, which is explained in this book over here. Anyway, if you broke your fast by eating, drinking, or intercourse, then you have to keep qaza of that fast, and you have to give kaffara for breaking the fast deliberately. Okay, eating something that normally humans eat, roti, chawal, bread, drinking sharbat, drinks, water. If you ate something which normally humans don't eat, like a stone, a mud, right, or things like that which normally don't eat, but you swallowed it, your roza will break, but there won't be any kaffara, because it's not something that normally eaten. It's not something that nourishes the body. It must be something that nourishes the body, then kaffara will be lazim. Without it, there won't be any kaffara. Similarly, sexual intercourse, masturbation, if someone does that, roza will break, but there won't be any kaffara in it. So understand the masla very well. Male, female, whatever, roza breaks through masturbation, but there's no kaffara for it. Kaffara is when two persons are involved, and then the act is done, and then the kaffara will have to be given. There is hadith in Sahih Muslim. This Sahabi came and said, Ya Rasulullah, ahlaktu, I have destroyed myself. And Prophet ﷺ said, what happened? He said, I had intercourse with my wife in Ramzan during the day. Nabi Pak ﷺ said, of course you've done something really bad. Now you have to give kaffara. Can you free one slave? And he said, I don't own anyone but myself. I don't have any slaves. Can you keep 60 rozas? And he said, Ya Rasulullah, this musibat came because of roza. I can't keep 60 rozas. And Prophet ﷺ said, can you feed 60 poor masakin? He said, Ya Rasulullah, in between these two mountains of Medina, there's no one more poor than me. I'm the poorest person in the whole city of Medina. And Prophet ﷺ laughed. This man is not going to give in. So Prophet ﷺ said, sit down. He sat there. And someone came with a large sack of khajur, dates. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, take this away and distribute it. He said, but Ya Rasulullah, I'm the poorest person. And Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, okay, go take it. Jai Hansi. Dr. Mutara Sahab, this remind me, Dr. Mutara Sahab in Kosamba. Some lady came to him and did his head in. And when she was going out, she came back and said, Doctor Sahab, आपने दवाई तो सब दे दी, मुझे क्या खाना है ये बताओ. And Doctor Sahab को, भाई तुझे जो खाना वो खाना, मेरा दिमाग मत खा. So anyway, this Sahabi Bichara was innocent. Prophet ﷺ also said, this won't be for anyone after you. It was a special leeway for him because of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, for kaffara, number one, free slave, no slaves today. Number two, 60 consecutive rozas, right? The expiation and kaffara must be to fast 60 consecutive days in the year without any interruption in the middle. One must choose a time where one can fast 60 days without the days of Eid or the 3 days after Eid al-Adha interrupting the fast because of the prohibition of fasting on these days. If one does not fast them consecutively, then one must restart the 60-day period each time the continuity of the fast is broken. The only exceptions to this rule are if one is menstruating or in the state of lokchia, postnatal bleeding. A menstruating woman must continue to fast after she becomes pure, clean, and she cannot delay the completion of the expiation. If she does delay fasting after becoming clean, then she must restart the 60 days of fasting. So, this is the second one. You have to fast for one qaza which you broke and 60 days continuously. Okay? One masla over here. What if a person broke multiple fasts in Ramzan? Right? मर गया पूरी जिंदगी रोजा रखो. No, I'm only joking. Masala is that if in one Ramzan he broke multiple fasts, then only one kaffara for one Ramzan. If he broke 5, 10, 15, only one kaffara. Meaning the qaza of those days, 5, 10, 15, but kaffara of 60 will only be one. They say, fuqaha say, there will be tadakhul in the kaffara. The kaffaras will be merged. So he won't have to keep 15 kaffaras. One kaffara for all the 15 rozas will be sufficient. If the fasts were broken for 2 Ramzans, then 2 Ramzans fast will not merge with one another. He will have to give separate kaffaras for separate Ramzans. Our Mufti Sufi Tahir Sahab quoted in here from Behishti Zevar or somewhere, where there is one opinion that 2 Ramzans kaffara can be merged as well, of some fuqaha. Anyway, the famous opinion is that only one Ramzan's kaffara can be merged, separate Ramzans, separate kaffara. Now, if a person is unable to keep 60 rozas continuously, consecutively, without any interruption in the middle, then he would be allowed to feed 60 poor people to their fill for 2 meals. Remember, the first duty is 1 minute. The first duty is 60 continuous rozas. This is only where the person is not able to keep 60 rozas, right? So if he is healthy and able to keep the kaffara 60 rozas continuously, he'll have to keep the 60 rozas. You get it? It's only when he is not able to keep 60 rozas will he be given the permission to give food. Feed 60 poor people twice a day, or one person to his fill with 2 meals for 60 days continuously, or to give 60 people half sa of wheat or its monetary value, the same as Sadaqatul Fitr, 3 pounds. So 6 times 3 will be 180. 180 होगा ना? 60 times 3. So ये 180 he will have to give out to 60 different people. Okay? So 60 poor people sa of dates or its monetary value. So this is the kaffara of qasam. Then there is kaffara. One correction here. On website of Muslim Aid, it is said that kaffara is for sexual intercourse and for masturbation as well. That is incorrect. There is no kaffara in istimna bil yad. Kaffara is only because the full pleasure is derived when 2 parties are involved. And the masla is explained over here in this book of ours, Gift for Ramzan. If you don't have it, take it, inshallah, beneficial. The masails are in there. That's where I'm reading from. We're finishing off now. There is kaffara of yameen, qasam as well. If a person takes a qasam, I'll do this, but then he is unable to do it, then Quran says, فَكَفَّارَةُ إِطْعَامُ عَشَرَةِ مَسَاكِينَ مِنْ أَوْسَطِ مَا تُطْعِمُونَ أَهْلِيكُمْ أَوْ كِسْوَتُهُمْ أَوْ تَحْرِيرُ رَقَبَةٍ فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ فَصِيَامُ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ. Either freeing one slave or feeding 10 miskins or giving them clothes or keeping 3 rozas is the kaffara of breaking a qasam. Okay. Now qasam is of three types. One is yameen ghamus, other is yameen lagw, and other is yameen munaqida. Yameen ghamus, where you took qasam of something that happened or not happened in the past. Allah ni qasam, I did this. Now, if you were lying, then you get good guna, but there is no kaffara for that. And yameen lagw is where you did not intend to take qasam, but the word of qasam came out. And yameen munaqida is where you take qasam of future. That Allah ni qasam, I will do this tomorrow, day after tomorrow, tonight. If you do it, then it's okay. But if you don't do it, that means you broke your qasam and you have to give kaffara for that. People don't realize this. They do take qasam, they break their qasam, and they don't even give kaffara. You have to give kaffara for that. And that is feeding 10 miskeens or clothing them or keeping 3 rozas for every qasam you broke. So this is kaffaratul yameen. This is why we should not misuse or abuse Allah's name. Never abuse Allah's name. Only take qasam if you really intend to do something. Otherwise, don't take qasam. That's kaffaratul yameen. And there is another kaffara of zihar, another kaffara of qatl khata. They are mentioned in the Quran, but not very common, so we'll leave them. Okay? These two are most common, kaffara of roza and kaffara of qasam. So if you break your roza deliberately, intentionally, by eating, drinking, medicine as well. If medicine is beneficial and you took it without dire necessity, then you'll have to give kaffara. If it was dire necessity, life-saving, then there is no kaffara. Then there's only a qaza. But if without necessity, just out of shock, you felt like it and you drank that medicine, it was nice and sweet, Calpol, babies, and you drank it, your roza breaks. Right? So, but if there was necessity, the masla would be different. So, someone asked me this mas'ala of inhaler, not inhaler, I think snuffing. That I was in a really terrible state. I couldn't think right, and by mistake, I snuffed Vicks. Do I have to give kaffara or just qaza enough? So from what I remembered from here, I wrote that you only need to give qaza, don't need kaffara. But then I read on one of the websites, I think Muslim Hands or somewhere, that if you take medicine, inhale it, you have to give kaffara as well. So I got a bit shocked. Then I checked this kitab, and over here it says no. If you snuff something due to necessity, you will not have to give kaffara. Right? Where is it? Mouth, smoking, asthma pump. Come on, man. So let's go. Didn't get with. नो इनहेलर में भी मेडिसिन होती है ना, और मेडिसिन ऊपर जाती है अंदर, इसलिए इनहेलर से भी रोजा टूट जाता है. अरे यार अभी तो मैंने देखा था या सलाम. चलो फिर मैं बता दूंगा, लेकिन इसमें मैंने लिखा है कहीं पर कहाँ देखा था, अभी तो मैंने देखा था. ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह. चलो, लेकिन इसमें लिखा है ये स्नफ जो लिया है मजबूरी में, तो उसे रोजा तो टूट जाएगा, कज़ा रखना पड़ेगा, लेकिन कफ़ारा नहीं देना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, फिर मिल गया, फिर दिखा दूंगा. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चंस अबाउट फिदिया कफ़ारा? सईद भाई, एनीथिंग टू रिमेंबर? अकबर भाई, हाउ इज हमजा? اللہ آسان کرے، اللہ آسان کرے، اللہ آسان کرے. سبحانک اللہم وبحمدک، نشہد ان لا الہ الا انت، نستغفرک ونتوب الیک. اللہم صلی علی سیدنا محمد النبی الامی وعلی آلہ وصحبہ وسلم تسلیما. پروردگار عالم محض اپنے فضل و کرم سے ہم سب کی مغفرت فرمائیے، ہم کو دین کی سمجھ عطا فرمائیے، دین پر چلنا ہمارے لیے آسان فرمائیے. یا اللہ جو مسائل سیکھیں اس پر عمل کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے. یا اللہ ہمارے یہاں بیٹھنا قبول فرمائیے. ہمارے اکبر بھائی کے حمزہ کو شفا عطا فرمائیے، صحت عطا فرمائیے، تندرستی عطا فرمائیے. جو کچھ بھی تکلیف ہے، بلیڈنگ وغیرہ ہے، اس کو کنٹرول میں لے آئیے. یا اللہ اسی سے اس کو نکال کر بیچارے کی صحت کو بحال کر دیجیے، اس کی ہیلتھ کو ریسٹور کر دیجیے. اور بھی جتنے بیمار ہیں جہاں کہیں بھی ہیں، جنہوں نے بھی دعا کے لیے کہا، سب کو شفا، صحت، عافیت، تندرستی عطا فرمائیے. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم. وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين برحمتك.